Okay, so this is the January 27th, 2022 meeting of the Town Administrator Screening Committee. This meeting is being cablecast by Area 58 Community Access TV, Channel 15, and will be posted by Area 58 on YouTube as soon as possible. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Chairman. Hi, Jen.
Hello.
Can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can hear you fine,
Okay.
thank you.
You still sick, Jen?
I recovered from COVID. We went to Florida for a week, and then when I came home, I got sick with bronchitis, so something new. Probably caught it on the plane.
Well, okay, so first on the agenda is a review and discussion and possible vote on a consultant proposal. Let me just give a little background of what's happened since we last met, and that was on January 4th. And the result of that meeting, after all of discussion, we'll approve the minutes later, was that Pat Mahar and I were tasked to work with Human Resources to make some edits to the quote form that we had used before, so that gave us a little more leeway on how people might respond. We did that on January 6th. I met with Elaine. We edited the form. And after that, on January 11th, we met, Pat, Elaine, and I met and finished the revisions on the form. On January 12th, we requested quotes from MRI, Paradigm, and the Collins Center. The deadline for receipt of response was January 21st, which was last Friday. Prior to that January 21st date, and actually prior to the quotes even being sent out, MRI, I mean, that's who did finally give us a Municipal Resources Incorporated, did reach out to Elaine and wanted to talk about the process, and Elaine and I called them back, and we had a nice meeting with, a nice conference call with a guy named Bob Mercer, who talked about MRI and their strengths, and they expressed an interest in doing the consulting for this job for Carver. They are, Paradigm, who I know there was some interest in, did respond and basically told to Elaine, I did not speak to them personally, they were not going to submit a quote because they were very busy at this time, and one of the things that seems to be a constant thing you hear is that there aren't as many candidates around as there are people looking for town administrators. So we received one, which was the one that I have sent to all of you so that you could review it. And Pat and I called, we had arranged and had a conference call this morning with Municipal Resources Incorporated to go over some things and to kind of give them a record of the history, how things went the first time, how things kind of went after we turned in the finalist list, and how we got to Town Administrator 2.0 here, and explain to them that, and it was obvious from going through their quote, that it's kind of I think a boilerplate quote that is, there are times when the hiring authority is very much more involved in the process than this process. And I explained to them that the approach here was that they put together a screening committee, and unless we needed help or unless we needed some change to something they had asked us to do, they weren't expecting to hear from us until we gave them a finalist list. And so I wanted to make sure that they, as a consultant, were comfortable working directly with the screening committee and pretty much only with the screening committee. There are also some things they said that they were going to do in here, which are really clearly optional. And it was my feeling, and Pat, I think yours as well, but feel free to chime in, that we can work with this company and that they'll do it however we want it done, and that they're going to be a good company to work with. We had 3 people on the conference call, one of them the president of the company, Alan Gould, and Bob Mercer, and a Buzz, I'll call it Buzz S. I know his last name, I can't say it, or I can't remember it anyway. I feel at this point, you can go over whatever questions anyone may have. I don't know if I'll have the answers to them, but they certainly would come in and meet with us. But I think, I don't see any reason, and I'm prepared to make a recommendation that we move forward and do a contract with MRI and get the process going. So that brings us up to date. Discussion? Anyone have any questions after going through the proposal or anything?
Well, just looking at their timeline,
Mm-hmm.
are we gonna?
I'll make a motion that we proceed with hiring Municipal Resources as our consultant to aid us in this process.
I'll second it for discussion, but in the microphone, Walter.
I was just wondering on the timeline, are we gonna have the time that we're not rushed? I know they were looking at 30 days too.
We're gonna, as far as I'm concerned, would follow MRI's timeline to do the job the way it needs to be done now. That's an estimate.
Yeah.
It puts the timeline, I think, is about 12 weeks from the time they start. That does put us into April.
Yeah.
That's when the Board of Selectmen has asked for it. I think it could go a little faster, it could go a little slower.
Yeah.
But my concern is that we do it right. They do a lot of things that we didn't do. Things that they require applicants to do that we never asked them to do, answer essay questions and things like that, and are willing to certainly not keep any secrets. They'll communicate with us as often or as frequently in whatever means we want. Seem to be very flexible people to do business with.
My question was just on the timeline, that was all, how close we were gonna be.
Yeah, they pointed out in the discussion this morning that they asked how involved this committee wanted to be. And I told them I thought that we wanted to be very involved and that we wanted to probably see the questions that before they ask them, and they pointed out that they're fine with that, and in fact they prefer it. But while we're waiting for you to respond and say whether you're happy with that or that, you're extending the timeline. All right, so so it could be longer, and there could be some things, and I didn't analyze this real closely. There might be some things they don't have to do, and maybe it'll shorten it up. But they consider this a conservative timeline to do the job right.
Pat's got a question.
Pat, yes.
If I could, can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. Well, great to see everybody again. Look forward to working with you all again, and you gave us another chance, so we'll see if we can get it right this time, right? And thank you for the Zoom connection too. I think a couple of things that I'd like to say about, I've been back on the fence on whether a consultant is really something we want to do or someplace we want to go. We didn't do it last time. I don't know if it would have made a difference or not. A couple of things that I'll just say from today's meeting is, and I said this to Tom this morning, that I was more impressed with this group than I thought I was going to be. Okay? The president of the company, Alan Gould, is a retired police chief and a former town administrator himself. So he gets it. He understands what's going on. They've got, even though they're from New Hampshire, they've got local business of recent in both Lakeville and Kingston. So that was also good to see and hear. We really got into some discussion about how autonomous we want the screening committee to be. And they understood that. And basically, in no uncertain terms, they deal with us. They are not to deal with the hiring authority as yet. If they hear from someone on the hiring authority or the select board, they are to refer them back to the chairman of this group. And they very much understood that. We had a very good discussion. I feel very comfortable with them. And I think it may be more advantageous than I originally thought. Yeah, absolutely. I can go along with having a consultant and actually hiring this group.
Okay. Any further discussion? Yes, Mick?
Add that. Sorry, Mr. Chair.
I just had a question.
Wait, just one.
On the original charge from the select board,
Yep.
was it anyone's impression that it was to present the 5 unranked finalists to the board? Is that a by or not before April 15th?
By.
Okay,
It says by.
all right. But the contract with the current interim runs through June 30th?
Yes. That's
Okay.
right.
So
But there's some, the
perhaps there is
thinking
some
was if
leeway.
you found someone in April, they probably need 2 or 3 months to give notice to their,
Right.
and move along.
Okay, I just wanted to be clear.
Right. Yes, Mr. Fennessy should be here until the end of the fiscal year.
Okay.
Jen?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to add, I'm in support of hiring the consultant, one, for ease of doing business, because we are all very busy people, and last summer, this took over all of our lives. But 2, for optics. I think that if people know that a consultant is willing to work with us and we don't hire them, we would come under a lot of scrutiny. And I don't want there to be any reason for us to say that anybody was biased or didn't have the right intentions. I fully believe in this committee. I know we could find good candidates. We found good candidates last summer with what we had to choose. We are all perfectly capable of doing this. But I think working with a consultant this round makes sense. Let's try it. We've been given a budget, and I think that the select board and people in town will be happy to see that we're responsibly spending, it's not even close to the max budget, and, having an outside influence in this process. I think for optic-wise, it's just a very smart decision.
Thank you, Jen. Any further discussion? We have a motion and a second that, would you repeat the motion again? Exactly your motion? Jen, what was your motion that we contract with? I lost it.
The motion was that we hire MRI.
That we hire MRI.
Was that your motion, Jen?
Yes, my motion was that we move forward with engaging, hiring, contracting with MRI to
Okay.
aid us in this process.
All right. All of those in favor of the motion?
All right,
Aye.
Aye.
do you want to do a roll call vote because we have,
Yeah,
Zoom?
yeah,
We can?
video, yeah.
Why don't we do that?
I don't think we have to, but we can. Pat, how do you vote?
Pat Maha says aye.
Jen?
Jennifer Pratt, aye.
Mary?
Mary Ross, aye.
Ellen Blanchard, aye.
Craig Weston, aye.
Tom Walsh, aye.
Ellen Jermaine, aye.
Bruce Mackey, aye.
Walter Cole, aye.
Now, as far as the details on how we'll do that, can I take this vote to mean that I can go ahead and work with the Human Resources to get the contract done and have the appropriate people sign it?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yes.
very good. Okay. Moving on, next thing is next steps. Do we want, how do people feel about, do you want MRI to come in and talk with us? As the next step, once we've, let's say, accomplished a contract? Is that necessary, or,
I don't think so.
okay,
I think we should have the next meeting when they have something to tell us.
okay?
Yeah, I think we should just go as
I'm
quickly as
assuming
we
that we're
can.
still gonna
Yeah.
interview candidates, right? Or is that strictly MRI's job and we're gonna just get a list and we're just gonna forward that list?
We'll be part of deciding how to do that when we get there,
Okay,
okay?
all right,
That, we didn't go through every single step.
okay.
You know, but I'm comfortable that, and I did talk to them about several steps where I felt like they were saying that they were gonna be dealing maybe directly with the board instead of us or whatever. And I'm comfortable that they'll do whatever we want them to do.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so then the next meeting will be to be determined. And we'll move on to reviewing the minutes of January 4th.
Motion to approve the minutes as written for January 4th, 2022.
I'll
Second.
that.
Okay, motion's made and second to approve the minutes as written. All those, any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
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 All right,
Aye.
Pat was absent.
Pat, you were absent?
I'm abstaining.
Okay. And there are no topics not reasonably anticipated.
Motion to adjourn?
Do I have a second to the
I'll
motion
second
to
that.
adjourn?
Second it.
All those in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Very good.